Modern Warfare 2 has had a handful of leaks here in the past couple of weeks, and a few of them have been a bit surprising, but today's discussion revolves around a handful of leaks that may actually be the most surprising of what we discussed so far, and frankly, I personally don't even know how to feel about this one. As we go along, drop your thoughts below. Do you like the sound of what may very well be the perks leaked for Modern Warfare 2? Do you hope that these are just legacy code items, with a larger offering being revealed soon? What perk would you like to see in Modern Warfare 2 and why? Any of those things or anything else, feel free to drop your thoughts below, but if you enjoy the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare 2 as we gear up towards hopefully an entire summer of new insight. And finally, check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage running a little bit of a mini sale here for the holiday weekend in the States, but more on them in just a bit. For now, let's talk about these perks that have leaked for what appears to be Modern Warfare 2. So, to understand where this information comes from, we have to kind of somewhat revisit a discussion that we had the other day. The other day, we touched on how recent leaks and upcoming ones alike will be coming from Warzone Mobile of all places. Right now, Warzone Mobile, codenamed Project Aurora, is in that limited closed alpha playtesting where people have been invited to test the game out. And normally, even if this stuff was to leak out for Project Aurora and Warzone Mobile, it really wouldn't seem too important, right? I mean, it's an entirely separate experience. It's Warzone Mobile, not really connected to any mainline title that we see playable right now on either consoles or PCs, and that's where you're partially right. Warzone Mobile is releasing later this year, and as such, it's not being built upon the Warzone experience that we have right now, but instead, it's being built upon the Warzone 2 experience, so that it's all a uniform experience, or as close to it when you swap from console or PC to then mobile. You have a very similar gameplay feel, if not identically mirroring it as much as possible. So that means that by association, we're also building off of Modern Warfare 2, the base building blocks for Warzone 2. So following that breadcrumb trail a little bit, we see that data miner Reality UK's report now has a bit of validity to it, it seems. He tweeted earlier in the week, returning perks in Modern Warfare 2 as per the Warzone Mobile files. Amped, Engineer, Restock, Ghost, High Alert, Overkill, Battle Hardened, Kill Chain, Scavenger, Shrapnel, and Cold Blooded. Bear in mind, these are not all the perks, just those that are currently in the Warzone Mobile files with the IW9 tag. He then followed it up by saying that it looks like Dead Silence is confirmed in Modern Warfare 2 as well by some of the game files, and he continued on a little further by saying found some more potential perks: Picture, Extra Tactical, Focus, Hustle, and Tune Up. So, a couple of things here. First, one that I'm hopeful for is that it looks like Dead Silence is returning. Now, it doesn't specify if this is its own perk or a field upgrade. I kind of imagine that this, in the capacity that we see it within Warzone Mobile, indicates a field upgrade. We talked about this before, where Dead Silence as a perk in Warzone would be entirely game-breaking. I don't think the game would play anything like it does if Dead Silence was a perk. It'd probably be one of the most crutch perks that we'd see within all of Warzone, but it seems like this confirms it in some capacity. Now, whether that translates to the multiplayer experience as a perk or a field upgrade, we don't quite know. Being that Warzone 2 is its own separate entity this time around, it is possible it could be a field upgrade in Warzone and a perk in Modern Warfare 2, but we'll have to wait and see. Secondly, though, that is a lot of perks that are repeats from Modern Warfare 2019. The ones that aren't, they'll likely be similarly built, so like Extra Tactical is pretty self-explanatory. Focus is likely a toughness equivalent from past games, reducing flinch. Hustle being probably a lightweight comparison, perhaps, and Tune Up, well, being another repeat. So, with so many repeated perks, why are we considering this to be the Modern Warfare 2 perks? Why is this just not written off immediately? The key to that is the IW9 tag. That is the dev prefix for Infinity Ward's 9th game, Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2019 was IW8, Infinite Warfare was IW7, Ghost was IW6, Modern Warfare 3 was IW5, and so on. So that's the key modifier here as to why this is interesting and why it has any weight behind it at all. If we ended up seeing this be something that was from Modern Warfare 2019, it should in theory have IW8 associated with it. We've already established that the Warzone Mobile game files share a lot of base components with Modern Warfare 2 and even Warzone 2, so that means that it looks like these are associated with Modern Warfare 2. So the way that I end up seeing this breakdown is one of three different ways. Number one, it's legit. The perks listed are exactly what's coming from Modern Warfare 2, or at least a portion of that listing from Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer perks. Number two, it's potentially Warzone specific, but since Warzone 2 is based upon the new mechanics and features in Modern Warfare 2, it has to be built out for IW9, meaning that Modern Warfare 2 may not necessarily have the same multiplayer perks, but this could be just instead the the Warzone expansion here for that, where they ended up bringing those perks over into Modern Warfare 2's base building blocks and then using those exclusively for the Warzone 2 experience. That is quite possible. It is something that has happened with, say, Tempered and Combat Scout already within Warzone, and sort of Serpentine to a degree where that was ported over from Vanguard. But number 3, it also could just be entirely false, leftover legacy code. But that in and of itself, while it seems like at first glance would be the most logical explanation, that does not explain the inclusion of the IW9 prefix in the dev names. But honestly, it could be any of those 3. I'm inclined to feel like these are updated since they have that prefix, but it's also entirely odd. So I now wonder, if this does fall in line as such, how many perks will we have in Modern Warfare 2? Because there's no way that we only have a vast majority of duplicate perks, right? I mean, mostly a duplicate list, that just wouldn't make a whole ton of sense. If these are legit, I'd kind of expect there, or at least hope there to be a healthy number of additional perks as well, because to me, it just wouldn't make sense that even if you're trying to follow up the success of all of Modern Warfare 2019, to include a vast majority of the offering as kind of copy and paste, that just doesn't go over well. What I do think could be possible is if this translates to MP in relation to our prior discussion about the perk system. For those that missed the latest discussion on that, we took a look at a leak that alleged that we'd see 4 perks total in our multiplayer experience. 2 in a tier 1 category, 1 in a tier 2, and 1 in a tier 3, with those 2 in tier 1 being locked and not transferable to either tier 2 or tier 3. Those 2 perks in tier 1 will be relating to game style. Now, we've already seen this happen almost identically in Black Ops Cold War's campaign, where you had psychological profiles in your character creation that allowed you to have specific bonuses throughout your entire save, not just match over match like we'd probably see in multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2. Now, we already theorized how many of these perks could be rolled into sort of one to fit certain playstyles, like Engineer and Shrapnel, and while not listed, Spotter from Modern Warfare 2019 could all be rolled into like one Engineer style perk. Things like Restock and Scavenger, those can be rolled into munition style perks. If we get more perks, I don't know that I'd mind utilizing existing perks already on offer, offering up tons of different ways to craft different perk styles, but also having in tier 2 and 3 perhaps things like 5 to 6 perks that are relatively new. If that's not the case, if I'm 100% honest with you, I think these might just be legacy code in Warzone to be built out for Warzone Mobile and Warzone 2 in particular, utilizing the same perks that we have now, but only being based upon the Modern Warfare 2 offering, like we discussed earlier in the video, hence IW9. You have these perks that are being built out for the upcoming Warzone experience, utilizing the tech and baseline that you have right now. I mean, realistically, when you think about Warzone as is, we're making so many fundamental changes that changing the wheel of perks isn't necessarily something that needs to happen. So while I'm sure, yes, there will be new stuff alongside that, this also could just be the most logical explanation for that. If these aren't all the perks or even the perks at all, the connection I'd imagine is just that Warzone 2 is being built from Modern Warfare 2's base engine, that fundamental here with it. So despite being a separate entity, it just has to have some sort of connection there, if that makes sense. But that's where we're at here at this. Again, as with all leaks, nothing is confirmed until it's actually there, until we get official statements or we see it ourselves in game. But for right now, it looks like the leaked perk list for Modern Warfare 2 is, well, just weird, because there's so many duplicates. So I don't know how to take this. I think that if this is actually what we see in the multiplayer as what we see in Modern Warfare 2018, I'm going to be severely disappointed. I'm hoping it doesn't get to that point, but I mean, that's where we're at here at this. So that said, that's what we're going to call it. Before we wrap everything up though, check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage. Again, as I've talked about many times here on the channel, best blue light glasses on the market. If you're somebody that works at your computer all day like myself, if you're somebody that watches TV a ton, or just on your phone for prolonged periods of time, eye strain and fatigue at the hand of blue light is absolutely something you may be conscious of. Now, Gamer Advantage absolutely in my mind is the best on the market here for all of that. Comfortable, durable, lightweight frames, and all their lenses are clinically proven to help out. So right now they're doing a 4th of July holiday sale where there's free shipping. So if you guys want to check anything out, learn more about it, or even grab something for yourself, consider using code Espresso and the link in the description below. But that said, that's what we're going to call it. So I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. What do you think of this here? Do you hope this isn't the full list of the Modern Warfare 2 perks? Do you hope it is? Do you think it's something that is built out for Warzone 2 but won't be reflective of the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer offering? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare 2. We'll keep you up to date with absolutely everything. But that said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.